Today, we're diving into a brand new open source initiative that's really trying to shake up how we learn professional finance. It's called Quantora Analytics University. And, well, it's designed to solve a problem that I'm sure many of you have run into.
So let's just ask it straight up. Why is it so incredibly hard to learn finance in a way that actually applies to the real world? I mean, you can study for years, but then you look at a live market screen and it feels like you're trying to read a completely different language. That's exactly what we're going to unpack today, the why behind that feeling and a new solution designed to fix it.
You see, the root of the problem isn't a lack of information. It's what the source material calls a structural fracture in the way finance is taught. The knowledge is out there, but it's split into two totally separate camps that honestly just don't talk to each other.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got your traditional university courses. Yeah, they're packed with amazing theoretical rigor, but they often feel so disconnected from the actual pulse of the markets. Then, on the other side, you have the wild west of online self-study. It's super accessible, sure, but you're often sacrificing rigor, and it's a real struggle to figure out who you can actually trust. It forces you into this impossible choice between a solid foundation or practical skills, when what you really need is both. And this gap, it leads to some incredibly common frustrations. You've got that constant head-scratching moment between what the textbook says and what actually works. You're drowning in information overload with no real framework to test anything. And maybe the biggest hurdle of all, the signal-to-noise ratio is just terrible, making it next to impossible to find sources you can really rely on. Sound familiar? I thought so.
So if those two paths are fundamentally flawed, is there another option? Well, this is where Quantora Analytics University steps into the ring. It's positioning itself as a third way, a genuine bridge designed to span that gap. Okay, so let's get crystal clear on what this actually is. Quantora Analytics University, and we'll just call it QAU from here on out, is an open source education project, and its goal is huge, to provide a foundation in finance that is totally free and accessible, but also, and this is the important part, incredibly rigorous and backed by data. The key takeaways is that everything is based on the standards that are actually being used by professionals today. Now, what's so important to understand here is the mission. QAU isn't trying to be a substitute for a four-year degree or a professional charter, not at all. Its purpose is to build that strong, practical base, what they call a clear and demanding foundation, so that anyone new to the field can finally grasp how the fundamentals are actually applied out there in the professional world. So, how are they going to pull this off? Well, the entire project is built on three core pillars. And these aren't just buzzwords, they work together to create a real foundation of trust and credibility. First up is institutional rigor. And what that really means is no shortcuts. The content is designed from the ground up to meet the exact same demanding standards you'd find on a professional trading desk. It's all about teaching finance the way it's practiced at the highest levels, without watering anything down. Pillar number 2 is verifiable empiricism. And honestly, this is a huge deal. It means that every single claim, every model, every strategy, it isn't just theory someone dreamed up, it's all backed by data that is fact-checked, totally reproducible, and you can trace it right back to the source. There are no black boxes here, just verifiable facts. And the third pillar is what really ties it all together. Accessibility without dilution. The mission here is to democratize this high-level knowledge, making it open source and free for anyone who wants to learn. But, and this is so important, it's done without ever lowering the academic or professional quality. It really is the best of both worlds. Okay, so the philosophy is rock solid. But what does this look like in practice? Let's take a peek inside the curriculum and see how it's all put together. The learning path is designed to take you on a journey through 3 clear stages. You start with the foundation, where you're really just building an understanding of how market mechanisms actually work. From there, you move to the intermediate level, where you learn to weave those concepts into practical, coherent workflows. And finally, you can hit the advanced level to specialize in really complex areas like macro strategy and risk management. It's a super logical path from novice to practitioner. And if you want proof of their commitment to quality, this is where the rubber meets the road. Every single piece of content is held to these incredibly high standards. I mean, just look at this. They're using verifiable data from professional sources like Bloomberg and the Fed's FRED database. All the code is public on GitHub, so you can run it yourself and reproduce the results. They even account for real-world stuff like transaction costs and slippage. This isn't just an academic exercise, it's designed to be battle-tested. The whole operation runs on a completely open-source tech stack. We're talking Python and Jupyter Notebooks for all the analysis, GitHub for total transparency, free data API so anyone can follow along, and even a Discord community for feedback and collaboration. It's built for learning, by a community, for the community. So when you take a step back, what does all of this mean for the bigger picture? Well, a project like this isn't just a win for students. It actually creates this amazing positive feedback loop that could benefit the entire industry. Think about it. For students and beginners, the value is just undeniable. You get free access to professional-grade material that finally closes that frustrating gap between theory and practice. But then look at the other side. For professionals and institutions, this is a game changer. They get better prepared people entering the workforce, which improves the entire talent pipeline, and at the end of the day, lowers their own training costs. It's a true win-win scenario. And they're not thinking small either. The goal here is to get over 5,000 users involved within the first year. So this isn't some niche little project. It's aiming for serious scale and real impact, right out of the gate. So, if you boil it all down, the critical takeaway is this. QAU is on a mission to democratize access to the real institutional standards of quantitative finance. And their promise is as simple as it is powerful. No abstract theory, only reproducible, empirically validated frameworks that are truly anchored in how markets actually work. And all of this brings us to one final, really big question. An open-source, community-driven platform built on institutional-level rigor and verifiable data? Could this be the blueprint for the future of professional education? Not just in finance, but in all kinds of complex fields? It's definitely a powerful new model to think about.